Chris, how many years of college did you go through to become a nurse?
To become a nurse, or how many years of college did I go through? To be a nurse, 2 years.
2 years. Okay, perfect. What is your experience in this hospital or in other hospitals?
I've worked as an ICU nurse for 25 years and now a supervisor for 6 months.
6 months. Okay. Actually, how many years of college did you have to go through before you became a nurse?
I went through 4. I got my bachelor's in nursing.
Okay. And what is your work experience in hospitals so far?
Work experience in hospitals, I worked as a CNA2 over at New Hanover on surgery. And I also worked as a home health aide at Maximum Healthcare.
Daryl, how many years of college did you have to go through to become a nurse?
Just 2 years.
2 years.
2 years ADM, but I had 4 years. But I have a bachelor's degree in chemistry and I have a master's in health education.
Okay. What is your work experience in hospitals?
Work experience. Let's see. Mostly ICUs. Critical care, emergency room,
Okay.
trauma.
Okay. When Well, how many years of college did you have to go through?
To get my nursing degree, to get my associates, I went straight after high school, and it was roughly 2.5 to 3 years. So I got that because I had to take a year of schooling beforehand before the actual associate degree. And then I've also been, after I started working, I've been getting my bachelor's for the last 3 years as I've been working. And
When you were in college, what % of students were male?
Let's see if I can remember that far back.
Or just the number that you can...
I think there was 26 in my class, and there was just me and another guy, 2 males.
Okay. And did any of those male students not graduate or make it through?
No, they all did. We both did. Yeah.
Okay. When you were in college, what % of students were male in your class?
Oh gosh, I don't know percentage or anything, but
Yeah.
I know that we had 4 males in our class and we had 50 students. And then the class behind us had 50 students, but they had 10 males in their class. So it's kind of coming up in the world with nursing that men kind of like this kind of thing. So, and what I would tell you is that it's not so much of a female job as people think it is, because it is kind of gross, and there are traumas that happen, and like the ER is crazy, and it's more of a male job than people think it is. Gets a little gross.
grade is what they call it for our class. So we started off with 4 guys and we ended with 2. And we went, not to scare you, but we went from like 27 total students to 9.
Okay.
So we lost a bit of them.
Okay. When did you decide to become a nurse?
That I kind of decided halfway through high school. Almost my whole family are nurses, my mom and both my sisters, and they all kind of convinced me of it because at the time, a couple years back, like 6 years ago or so, the job market was kind of scary if anybody remembers it, so I wanted to get something that I could have a little bit of job security in, and my sisters and everybody were all talking about most of the benefits and everything that you get as a nurse, and so I decided to go into that career field.
When did you decide to become a nurse, if you remember?
My second year into college, my parents said, if you'll go to nursing school, we'll pay for it. That was the deciding factor.
That's the way to get.
No student loan.
Do you feel uncomfortable working in a profession where 90% of workers are female?
Sometimes it can be taxing.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Okay. You see where it is uncomfortable for like a male as a minority in the work field like every day?
It's a little uncomfortable when they have to give a woman a bed bath on the first semester in nursing school. Especially when the woman is 9 years old and she's used to not having a male you know, give her a bath and stuff like that. So that gets really weird. There have been females that do not want males as a nurse, but it's very rare these days.
Do you feel like it'd be an advantage or a disadvantage being a male?
Oh, it's a total advantage. I mean, you come in and you get interviewed and they're like, oh, you're a male, we're going to hire you. Like immediately. Yeah, it's a huge advantage to be a male.
Do you feel uncomfortable working in a profession where at least 90% of the workers are female?
I think that's actually an advantage in all honesty.
Yeah.
I like that. At times it can be kind of funky because some women can be slightly catty, and there's definitely not a lot of testosterone on the floor or whatnot.
Situations where patients may be uncomfortable with female or male in a room while you're being a nurse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you're a female and you're young and you have a young male and you come in and take out the catheter, you have to give them a bath because they have been in a car accident and they're all laid up in there and they have traction and, you know, cast on them and everything. It gets a little awkward. Also, being a male and going and giving, you know, a bath or taking out a catheter for a female that's really uncomfortable with you doing that, it's weird for both sides. So, disadvantage to both.
Are there any situations where patients may feel uncomfortable with a male nurse? Like, have you ever had?
Female patients, yeah.
Okay.
Especially in OB.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Was this something that was covered in your education or training? Like, did you know about this when you were deciding to become a nurse?
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Was this covered, like, situation-wise in your training or education?
No.
Okay.
No, they don't tell you about all the weird stuff. They give you the tactical stuff, and then you go in there and you're like, oh, this is awkward.
In general, do you feel there's like a stigma or like a stereotype put on male nurses?
I don't know. Every time I kind of hear a question like that, I always think of people always thinking I'm kind of like the dude from Meet the Fockers or something like that. But truly, not so much. Some patients will have like this odd stigma, but not a lot of them. Just a couple. They'll kind of be like, "Oh, it's a male nurse," and they'll kind of give you this funky little look. But actually, in all honesty, most of the patients like the fact that I'm a guy.
Do you feel there is like stigmas or stereotypes associated with male nursing?
Probably not anymore.
Okay.
Perhaps a little bit. I mean, you might come across somebody and go, I wonder if they're, you know,
Yeah.
a little effeminate.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's become less and less as the years have gone on and more men have become nurses, and they go on to do things like VitalLink or the emergency room or nurse anesthetist, things that are a little more manly,
Okay.
AirLink, something like that.
Okay.
So I think nursing has become less girly,
Mhm.
I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, that's perfect. All right. Thanks so much, Chris.
You're